Greetings, everyone, and a warm welcome. In this video presentation, I will delve into the subject of critical pedagogy, exploring its meaning, the imperative need for its application, and the far-reaching implications it holds in the realm of teacher education. Let us first try to understand meaning of critical pedagogy. Critical pedagogy is an educational philosophy and approach that goes beyond traditional methods of teaching to foster a critical consciousness among learners. Developed by Brazilian educator Paulo Freire, critical pedagogy seeks to empower individuals to critically analyze and challenge societal norms, structures, and inequalities. It emphasizes dialogue, reflection, and a participatory approach, aiming to develop students not just as passive recipients of knowledge but as active agents capable of understanding and transforming their social reality. Key principles of critical pedagogy. 1. Critical consciousness. Critical pedagogy aims to develop critical consciousness or the ability to perceive and question societal injustices. This involves challenging traditional power dynamics and encouraging students to question the status quo. 2. Dialogue and participation. Instead of a one-way transfer of knowledge, critical pedagogy emphasizes dialogue and participation. Students and educators engage in meaningful conversations, sharing perspectives, and co-constructing knowledge. 3. Social transformation. At its core, critical pedagogy is about social transformation. It seeks to empower individuals to act as catalysts for positive change in their communities and beyond by equipping them with the tools to critically analyze and challenge oppressive systems. 4. Contextualization of learning. Learning is contextualized within the student's lived experiences and the broader social context. This allows for a more relevant and meaningful educational experience. Now let me throw light on need for critical pedagogy. 1. Empowerment of marginalized groups. Critical pedagogy is particularly relevant in addressing the needs of marginalized groups. By fostering critical consciousness, it empowers individuals from diverse backgrounds to challenge systemic inequalities. Example: in classrooms adopting critical pedagogy, students from marginalized communities are not mere recipients of information, they actively engage with the curriculum, fostering a sense of empowerment. This approach addresses historical educational inequalities and provides a platform for marginalized voices. 2. Promotion of social justice. In a world marked by social injustices, critical pedagogy is a response to the need for education that actively promotes social justice. It equips learners to recognize and combat discrimination, bias, and inequality. Example: critical pedagogy is essential in teacher education for preparing educators who can foster social justice advocates. Teachers trained in critical pedagogy are equipped to create inclusive classrooms, challenge biased materials, and advocate for policies that promote equity. 3. Development of critical thinking skills. Traditional education often emphasizes rote memorization and passive learning. Critical pedagogy responds to the need for an education that develops critical thinking skills, enabling individuals to analyze, question, and evaluate information independently. Example: critical pedagogy responds to the need for students to develop critical consciousness, an awareness of societal structures, and a capacity to analyze and challenge them. Through critical engagement with literature, history, and social issues, students become active agents in their learning process. 4. Preparation for active citizenship. In democratic societies, active citizenship requires an understanding of societal issues and the ability to engage in informed civic participation. Critical pedagogy prepares students to be active and informed citizens capable of contributing to the democratic process. Example: in a world where civic engagement is crucial, critical pedagogy prepares students to be active citizens. Through projects that address real-world issues, students learn to apply their knowledge, engage with their communities, and contribute meaningfully to societal development. 5. Development of critical thinking skills. Critical pedagogy responds to the need for education that develops critical thinking skills, encouraging students to question, analyze, and evaluate information. Example: traditional educational models often focus on memorization. Critical pedagogy responds to the need for education that develops critical thinking skills. Students are encouraged to question, analyze, and evaluate information rather than passively accepting it. 6. Addressing diverse learning styles. Critical pedagogy recognizes the diverse learning styles and backgrounds of students, using varied teaching methods to accommodate different preferences. Example: critical pedagogy recognizes the diverse learning styles and backgrounds of students. In classrooms where critical pedagogy is practiced, educators use varied teaching methods, incorporating visual aids, discussions, and hands-on activities to accommodate diverse learning preferences. 7. Incorporating real-world relevance. Critical pedagogy addresses the need for education to be relevant to students' lives by connecting classroom content to real-world issues. Example: critical pedagogy addresses the need for education to be relevant to students' lives. By connecting classroom content to real-world issues, students see the practical applications of what they learn, fostering engagement and a deeper understanding of the material. 8. Equipping students for global citizenship. Critical pedagogy prepares students to be global citizens by exploring global issues, multicultural perspectives, and engaging in collaborative projects. Example: in an interconnected world, critical pedagogy prepares students to be global citizens. Through the exploration of global issues, multicultural perspectives, and collaborative projects, students gain a broader understanding of the world and their place in it. Lastly, let's delve into the implications of critical pedagogy in teacher education. 1. Transformative teaching practices. Critical pedagogy transforms teaching practices by encouraging educators to move beyond traditional methods. Teachers learn to embrace participatory and dialogical approaches that promote critical thinking, collaboration, and student engagement. 2. Incorporation of social justice themes. In teacher education, critical pedagogy prompts the incorporation of social justice themes into curriculum design. Educators learn to address issues of equity, diversity, and inclusion within the educational context, preparing them to create inclusive and socially conscious classrooms. 3. Promotion of reflective teaching. Critical pedagogy encourages reflective teaching practices. Teachers engage in ongoing reflection on their instructional methods, biases, and the impact of their teaching on students' critical consciousness. This reflective practice is essential for continuous professional development. 4. Collaborative learning communities. Teacher education programs grounded in critical pedagogy foster collaborative learning communities. Emphasis is placed on dialogue, shared experiences, and collective reflection, creating a supportive environment for educators to learn from one another and share best practices. 5. Socially conscious curriculum development. Critical pedagogy influences curriculum development in teacher education programs. Educators learn to design curricula that go beyond the traditional canon, incorporating diverse perspectives, marginalized voices, and themes of social justice to prepare future teachers for the realities of diverse classrooms. 6. Emphasis on critical reflection on power dynamics. Teachers trained in critical pedagogy critically reflect on power dynamics within educational settings. This reflection extends to the examination of their own positions of authority, enabling educators to create more democratic and inclusive classroom environments. 7. Application of critical pedagogy strategies. Teacher education programs incorporating critical pedagogy equip educators with a toolkit of strategies aligned with this approach. These strategies include problem-posing activities, participatory discussions, and the use of real-world examples to engage students critically. 8. Integration of social activism and education. Critical pedagogy prompts teacher education programs to integrate the concept of social activism into their training. Educators are encouraged to explore ways in which they can contribute to broader social change through their roles as educators. 9. Emphasis on interdisciplinary approaches. Critical pedagogy in teacher education emphasizes interdisciplinary approaches. Teachers learn to connect their subject matter to broader social issues, fostering a holistic understanding of the interconnectedness of knowledge. Thank you, everyone. If you're passionate about education and teacher training, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel Education and Teacher Education at Shokeen Bilal.